An old saying comes to mind when I think about the sports card market of today, and that is comparison is the thief of joy. Because all the time when you turn on and you start watching YouTube videos or you're watching on social media, you see all these $10,000 deals, $20,000 deal challenges, $50,000 deals. I bought this entire booth, all of these types of things, and that's fine. But let's face it, for most of us, we're not swimming in those waters. I think right now is probably a very appropriate time to bring this topic up since the National's coming up. I've been to the National in the past multiple times where I've had a budget as low as $500, but most often it was around $1,000. Sure, prices in the past were a lot lower, but they weren't that low. I mean, a $500 to $100 budget at the National certainly would go further, but it wasn't like that was a huge budget years ago. My standard budget for many years was $1,000. I'm fortunate enough now where my budget's higher, but it hasn't always been that way. And so the purpose of this video is to look at it from a perspective of you don't have to spend a lot of money on sports cards to build a collection that you really enjoy and that you're proud of. So, a few keys first before we get into this. I'm going to have a bunch of different examples for you to give you some ideas. You know, and for some of you that have been into collecting for a long time, some of this is going to be really relatable, I'm sure. For some of you that are relatively new to collecting, you might get some ideas that you hadn't thought about. Keys first. Don't be in a rush. The fear of missing out is very strong in sports cards. Sometimes you see certain cards spike in value and you're just like, well, no, I got to get one. Like right now, you end up buying at the peak in the market and then things drop. Hard to predict the future is. That may happen, where some cards are going to get out of reach. Okay? It may also happen, though, where you think some cards get out of reach and then they come back down. I've got a good example for you in this video. But don't be in a rush. There's always going to be opportunities. There's opportunities in any market. I've been back into sports card collecting for 19 years. There's always opportunities. There were opportunities during COVID. There always are. Don't ever think that you never have any sort of options within the hobby to be able to collect and enjoy. My other suggestions real quick before we get into the cards, getting priorities together is a must. Putting things together like an emergency fund. Squaring away retirement, making sure that you're investing for retirement, and making sure that you eliminate all, if not all, as much debt as possible to kind of clear the slate, and so you free up more disposable income. Things to keep in mind. Now let's get into the cards. It's a card video. First off, I decided a few years ago that I was going to go after LeBron James gold cards. Not only LeBron James gold cards, but cards that are numbered, let's say 100 or lower. I've never been a huge LeBron fan, but I've had a hard time not getting back into collecting him just because he's been such a significant player and such a significant athlete during the time I've been collecting. And so I decided, well, I don't want to put big money into LeBron, but I want to go after some of these. So let me show you some examples. Remember, the theme is here, you don't have to spend tons of money to put together a collection you're proud of. First one is, it's a 2005 Topps first row center court, parallel number 299. It's in a PSA 9. You can see the sticker on it. I laugh at some of these because I leave these on there, right? I doubt that you can buy this card for $99 today. It's a total pop card of 5. It's very, very hard to find. Like I said, the sticker on it's $99.99. I don't know exactly what I paid, 80 or 90 probably. But this is a card it's fairly scarce. If you're looking at graded copies, there's as many as 5 people that own this card of any grade in PSA. I didn't break the bank for it. Nor did I discover something with LeBron James. When I bought this card a few years ago, he was already great. He had already won titles. People already knew that as long as he stayed healthy, He's going to have a good shot to break the scoring record. There was no mystery. You know, there's opportunities like this with different players all the time. I'm going to give you some more examples. Okay, so that's the first one with LeBron. We're going to stick with the LeBron theme here for a little while. My second one is an 05 Topps First Row LeBron James Gold. It's numbered to 100 on the back. It's a PSA 8. You can see the price tag on it. It is $135. I'm willing to bet I probably paid 100, maybe 120 at most. This is a tough one too. Total pop on this card is 10. I did a little bit of research on this because the center court I couldn't find anything, but I did some research on this. There's one listed on eBay. I think it's like $1,000, their best offer. I don't really know what the card's worth. It's not really even something that I want to sell. It's the idea that I want to collect certain players and I want to have cards that aren't readily available. That's how I choose to collect. I'll get some high pop stuff too if it's a card that is pretty cool aesthetically, you know, it's a really cool looking card or something. Well, sure, yeah. But I like to collect the stuff that's hard to find. And again, I don't think that I was ever like discovering anything with LeBron. He had multiple titles by the time I bought this. I just thought it was cheap. I thought it was hard to find as it was. And I randomly found it at the National, both of these first two cards. So anytime I see those types, I've been picking them up over the years. 2003 Bazooka home white jersey gold in a PSA 8. LeBron gold rookie. You can see the sticker on there, $150. I remember this one. I paid 120 or 130. He gave me a discount. Not much of one. I think I paid 130. Total population on this card is 280. I mean, a LeBron rookie for $130 gold. A gold LeBron for $130. That's a pop 280. There's only 111 of these at or 8 or above. I looked this one up, did a little bit of research. I think the last one sold for a little over $300. You know, would I buy this card now for over $300? Probably not. But I mean, at $130, it just seemed really cheap. I mean, again, this is an all-time great. There's not a ton of them. I mean, there's opportunities out there like this over time. And by saying that, I don't mean that there's necessarily opportunities on these exact type of cards right now for LeBron. I'm saying that you got to pick a player that you're really into and try to find things that are scarce or relatively hard to find. If the value on these LeBrons totally had tanked, I'd have been like, I still like having them in my collection. They're cards that not everybody has. They're hard to find. You know, with this situation, I don't see LeBron James cards really tanking anytime soon. They might, but I look at it like if my whole collection goes to zero, that would really suck, but it doesn't really impact my life. I've said it multiple times. I just don't picture cards as investments, because here's the key difference. Again, if my cards go to zero, it would totally suck. If my investments go to zero, that's a completely different conversation. They're two different compartments, at least in my life. Next one, 2008 Topps Rip Card, number 1099. It's unripped. It is a PSA 5. It's a Pop 3. 5's the highest grade, by the way. There's 2 5s and a 4. I paid $128 for this card. I got it graded, so I've got about $158 into this. I don't know what this card's worth. You never see them. This is the highest graded. Safe to say probably quite a bit more than $128. But you know, just depends on what people would be willing to pay for it. It's all chipped up on the back. It's just a really cool card though. I'm really happy to have this into my collection. It's a card that very few people own. Last one here for LeBron. A 2003-2004 Bowman Gold LeBron rookie in an SGC 7. I didn't research the pop on these. I know why this one had been priced so low for so long. So you see the sticker on it's $300. I think I paid $260 or $280 would be my guess. I paid less than sticker for sure. a lot of people just don't want lower grades. They just don't want the 7s. This particular card, if you're familiar with these Bowman Golds, if you look at the back, they look like they've been run over by a lawnmower. My copy's got chipping on the back. It's not terrible though. For a 7, it's actually, I mean, I'll let you see for yourself here. For a 7, it's pretty decent. I've seen worse. I did look this one up just for out of curiosity. I'm just like, well, what are those doing now? It's not a card I'm looking to sell, but what are they worth now? An SGC 7 just sold for $800. Would I pay $800 to buy this card now? Nah, I don't think so. But I love having it in my collection. Because at the price point I bought it in, I'm happy to hang on to it. Could go up in the future, could drop, I don't know. I just like owning it. Another example for you. Kevin Durant. Guy can be a lightning rod. The 2007 Topps Kevin Durant rookie in a PSA 9. I remember these in the height of COVID. They were selling for $900 or more. Dollars, like each. $900 or more. I had a stack of them because I cracked a bunch of 07 Topps. And I looked through all of them. And I sent in my best one. And I got a 9. And I remember thinking by then they had started to drop. They were probably worth $400 or $500. But I was like, all right, I'm hanging on to this. That's a great value add. It's a nostalgia thing for me. Sweet, I'm hanging on to it. Flash forward to today. They sell for $60. But you know what? Check out this picture. You see the one in there that doesn't have the sticker? That's the one that I graded out of my personal collection. So pumped when I got a 9. Those other 3 have $50 price tags on them. I remember buying them from a seller, and I remember offering $120, and I remember him taking it. So now I got 4 of them. I mean, I love this card, man. So it's not all about monetary value, right? I remember thinking when those got up to $900 plus, like, man, suddenly, I really wanted that in my collection because, people were calling this card a grail on videos. Hey, I was really happy. I got to sell someone a grail, a Topps Kevin Durant rookie card. It is a great card. In my opinion, it's quite iconic. I know people love that word. In my opinion, it's quite the iconic card. What changed? Now that the prices have dropped, it's not a grail. It's not a card that people want in their collection. Now that it's dropped, it's one that I want more of. I talked to my wife about this, and I was telling her about these values, and she's like, they're only worth like $65. I'm like, if I see these at the National, I'll buy them. This is not some weird bump and dump. I'm not trying to sell you anything. But if I walk out of this year's National with 3 or 4 more of these, great. I'll just stack them. I really like Kevin Durant. I mean, there was a 2-year span where it was arguable that he was either the best player in the world or top 2 or 3 player in the world. And he was with the Warriors, 2-time MVP when they won back-to-back there. Kevin Durant is 5th on the all-time scoring list. He's got over 32,000 points, and he's still playing. He's he's one of the all-time scorers. He was one of the best all-time scorers in the NBA. One of the best of all time. I mean, they're cheap. So again, it's not just about, hey, I bought these cards, they went up in value, and now I'm flipping and stuff. It's like, no. It's not only trying to get ahead of the game. I had a previous video about that, but it's also just, if there's cards that you want and those prices crash, pick them up. I picked up an exquisite Blake Griffin rookie in his Oklahoma uniform at the National a couple of years ago for like $160. Those were like $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 at the peak. That was an elite card, man, and I never got it. And I was like, well, I missed out on that. I had one in my hand when they were $90 before they went up to $2,000, $3,000, and I guess I'm never going to get that. I jumped at the chance, that his market totally cratered. And I picked that card up because I want to own it. It's not always about the values. One last thing as I finish this video, actually 2 parts. One, If you haven't already, if you consider subscribing to the channel, that would be great. And two, I'm going to close with this. There's always deals to be found at the National that are very, very either inexpensive, free, or opportunities to get discounts. Okay? There's freebies at the National. I'll give you an example. Previous video that I did, I showed you some Beckett cover cards of Ohtani. I had 3 of them, rookie year cards. Got them for free or very little cost. Some of the vendors charge $5 for them, whatever. Very cheap. Okay. I know DJ Ski was at I think it was the eBay booth one year. They were giving away free cards. And if you completed the 4-card set, then you could get a 5th card mailed to you. It was really cool. So if you're going to the show, look out for those types of things as well. It doesn't cost hardly anything at all, depending on what the promotion is. Also, one year, I ended up pulling one of my favorite personal collection cards, and I'll save that maybe for another video. But every year, people buy wax boxes to get the Rapper Redemption packs. And one year, I knew a guy who was buying some Panini past and present. And he was bringing these up to redeem the packs. And when you redeem the packs, they cut the plastic on the boxes. So it reduces the value of the box. Well, he was agreeing to sell them at a discount. You know, because the plastic was off and I wanted to crack some. So I bought a couple from him. And would you believe one of the cards I pulled out of that was a jersey card of Kevin Garnett. Case hit number /5. What the heck, I'll show you a picture right now. Check this out. I ended up getting it graded. I graded out a BGS 9.5. Game worn, of course. Just an incredible card. One of my favorite cards in my collection. And it was off a box that I think I paid $50 for, maybe $60 for a hobby box. Yeah, those days are probably gone, but if you want discounts on wax, I mean, even those types of weird things present themselves. You never know. So, with that said, hope you got something out of this video. If you got a player or players in mind, I know this year at the National, one guy that I'm looking for pretty heavy basketball-wise is Kobe. I know that a lot of his stuff has gone crazy. There's so many opportunities to collect Kobe. There's so many inserts that are so cheap. Kobe's the guy I'm looking for. I'm looking for Shaq. A lot of Shaq stuff that I really like hasn't gone astronomical yet. So those are a couple names I'm looking for, and I'm going to be looking for Ohtani. Yeah, the high-end stuff's going to be super expensive. That ain't going to change between now and the National. There are so many ways to collect Ohtani. There's so many cool inserts out there that are just cheap. So those are 3 examples of names I'm looking for. Let me know in the comments if if you can relate to this video, if you have been able to pick things up that now are like steadfast in that PC that you don't want to sell, that you got for much significantly cheaper, I should say. And then let me know also if there's certain players that you're looking for at the National. And I will see you in the next one.